And the bell has tolled. So come on down, grab a seat. It's all right, we're still missing at least one president. I see him there's one. God, it's like herding cats now. Now there's like twice as many to keep track of. Here comes the other one. He's coming around the turn. He's coming in. Sold! Jim Everett down in front. All right. Well, I think we're going to start. Wait, Marty Holly. Marty Holly is walking across. No, you don't rush, Marty. You're all right. Don't hurt anything. We need you, Marty. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon/evening. We're kind of right on the cusp between matinee prices and evening prices, so that's how it happens. This is a beautiful day and a beautiful location for such a wonderful event. Hopefully this is a harbinger of what is to come. It's kind of bright out here, so I'm going to hang on just a second. There we go. There we go. That's better. Now it's too dark. There, that's better. All right, adding a little dignity and grace to the event. My name is Joe Golden, and I'm a professor in the Theater and Speech Arts Department here at the college, and I was invited to MC today. I can't stress that enough. I was invited. I'm also a tenured professor, difficult if not impossible to get rid of. Otherwise, they would have done it by now. So I want you to please keep these things in mind as I make my remarks on this auspicious occasion. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this inauguration of our co-presidents, Doug Brigham and Jim Everett, or as they've been affectionately dubbed, Dim Breverett, or Jug Evergram. Either way, sounds like a denizen from Little Abner. And if you chuckled at that, you have revealed yourself to be blithely mature. Notice none of the students knew what I was talking about when I said Little Abner, but I digress. Let's get back to Jim Doug Everbrigham. There are a lot of great things about Jim and Doug as co-presidents, and I'm sure that if we all sit here long enough, we can think of some. Sorry, that was unrelated. Well, you know, we've got all afternoon, so I'm sure we'll come up with something before the ceremony is... Oh, yeah, I got something. Beth Brigham co-owns a moving company, so we did get a discount on moving them into the president's house. So we've got that. And I think Linda might be able to get us a deal on the Jetty energy bars. So far, the spousal connections are really paying off for us big time. Now, to get things started on a more classful, I'm making that word up. It's a word now, just like Shakespeare. On a more classy and reverential tone, because he is a reverend, I'm going to call up Reverend Dr. Mr. Phil Rogers for the invocation. Phil. Thank you. You want to borrow these?
I'm good. Darn, I'm not as funny as Joe, but we will pray. And we'll do the rest of the stuff. Since the founding of this fair, excellent college by pastor and professor and President William Judson Boone, we've always opened each inauguration with prayer. I've done a few of them. And we offer words of thanks to God for the vision and the leadership of those who've served us as past presidents, but mostly asking for grace and discernment for each new president, or in this case, both, who have chosen to steward us and steward the mission of this great college. So please join me today as we're going to pray. I'm going to start with silence. You can pray on your own, and then we'll pray together. Almighty God, this afternoon we pause to acknowledge your presence here, right here in this time, in this place. Thank you for your guiding presence that has informed and supported us and sustained us, that has sustained this college for over 125 years. And now today we invite you again into our work as we inaugurate two new leaders to to become stewards of what you've done, what you're doing, and what you will do in our midst through this great school. Fill Presidents Brigham and Everett with grace, that they may lead us carefully. Fill them with your spirit of discernment and wisdom. Grant them self-awareness and the ability to listen. Grant them courage and humility and vision and steadiness to sustain and develop us as a thriving community. God, add grace upon grace in their life with laughter and friends, with balance, with meaningful rest and peace and joy. And bless all of us, students, family, friends, alumni, staff, faculty, administration, and trustees, with these same gifts, that we may likewise grow as whole persons and grow as a flourishing community toward the worthy stewardship of our own lives and the good of our world. Guide us that as a community of leaders, we may live into your calling to fulfill your purposes, that we may become people with great ideas and also people with great hearts. Bless us that we can become a blessing to others. We pray this, believing it will be so, because of your goodwill towards us. We pray it in your name. Amen. Are you up?
And now comes the time in the program where the various constituencies from the college come up and tell Jim and Doug not to screw it up. They will do it much more eloquently than I can. So first up, we have the student charge. Student Drake Kuykendall and his magical beard, the ASCI student body president. Drake, come on up.
Thank you, Jester Golden, for that lovely introduction. First off, congratulations, Jim and Doug, on becoming the 14th presidents and the first co-presidents of the College of Idaho. We welcome and admire your innovation and courage as we move together into this new chapter of the college's history. We, the students, charge you both to meet each of the following goals during your co-presidency. To ensure that our students remain the focus of our institution and to implement policies that give the highest consideration to student opinions and values, and remember that our experience here is greatly impacted by your efforts. To acknowledge and consider student resolutions, polls, petitions, and demonstrations in all decision-making, and to encourage students to participate in decision-making by continually asking for student opinion and perspective. To continue to be a joint presence on this campus by building and maintaining intentional relationships with students that show your commitment to our campus and our students. To promote involvement by attending any and all student events to which you are both always welcome. To recognize and celebrate the wealth of diversity among our students in the realms of academics, cultural background, athletics, the arts, and campus involvement. To never stop learning as a way to demonstrate, promote, and never forget the college's proud history and spirit of innovation. And the final and most important is to keep working on your dance moves, because we all know they need some work. And on behalf of the students, we pledge our support to you both as the 14th presidents of the College of Idaho. We cannot wait to see the great things we will all accomplish together. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thanks, Drake. Nice suit. Hopefully for your second term, we'll get you matching shoes. But they're jazz shoes. You look ready to dance yourself, my friend. All right, second up, we have the faculty charge with the most recent former past faculty president, Linda with a Y Danielson, who is even now counting her steps on her Fitbit up to the podium and back to her chair. So, Dr. Linda Danielson with the faculty charge.
Thank you. So at the College of Idaho, we believe it is essential to actively engage our students and encourage the exchange of ideas through lively communication. I would like to actively engage with the members of the faculty right now, so hopefully you're listening. When I announce your professional title, please cheer and flail your arms wildly. Got that, faculty? Dean of the faculty. Louder, louder, where are you? He's coming. Professor. Woo! Associate professor. Awesome. Assistant professor. Visiting assistant professor? Anybody? Anybody? Instructor. Woohoo! Adjunct instructor. And co-presidents of the college. Okay, sort of, okay. According to the revered faculty handbook, I've just named the faculty of the College of Idaho. So let me be the first to welcome the two of you to our ranks. You are now members of an eclectic group dating back 127 years to the first 7 volunteer faculty members that taught the first 2 trembling students in 1891. That was a great student-faculty ratio, right? Yeah. Our duties and responsibilities as faculty members include service and scholarship, but our primary duty at the College of Idaho continues to be teaching students, just as in 1891. Thus, in order to fill this essential duty, we need students, but not just any students. The faculty of the College of Idaho require motivated students, academically curious students, students ready, willing, and able to take what we faculty lovingly dish out. Former Dean of the Faculty, Ed Foster, once offered a slight modification to Boone's "let them come, let them all come, and we will see what they can do" mantra. Dr. Foster charged, "Let them come. Let all of them come who can gain the most from what we have to offer." In addition to students, we faculty require resources. In order to continue providing excellence in education, the faculty must regularly engage both in their disciplines and with external peers. As a community of learners, we are committed to academic freedom and the free search for truth and its free exposition for the benefit of all. And we are steadfastly committed to the college's historic mission as a liberal arts college. In summary, we welcome you to the faculty of the College of Idaho. We pledge our support as we recruit motivated students, secure sufficient resources to extend the C of I legacy into the next 127 years, and continue our commitment to academic freedom and the liberal arts. Welcome. Oh, the first faculty assembly is tomorrow. We'll see you there.
Oh, thank you, Linda. That was because she's a little diminutive. So, all right. Well, this is going very, very well. Now the next thing up is the staff charge, which sounds like something you need an antibiotic for, but it's really not. Oh, the antibiotic joke, that goes over. All right. So here with the staff charge, topping the charts is Savala Belbiv Devoge.
Thank you, Joe, for getting about 70% of my name right. It's still better than most people get. First, congratulations to our co-presidents, Doug Brigham and Jim Everett. The college has a rich history of both honoring long-held traditions and setting new trends. It is fitting, then, that the history being made now is that of having 2 co-presidents at the helm of this institution to lead us into what we are sure is a bright future for our students and the greater community. While you take the mantle of leadership, know that you have the support of the staff behind you. We are committed to the success of this school that we love. With that ideal of success in mind, we charge you with the following. Be present. Support as much as you can. From hearing students present their research, to supporting staff development, to attending social events and having lunch in the cafeteria. Be open. We have great opportunity for partnerships with the community and with other institutions. Be transparent. The college's struggles are all of our struggles, and the college's triumphs are all of our triumphs. We are here as a community to be a part of all things, but we can't contribute if we don't know there is need. Recognize the great staff you have here and promote an environment with balance between work, community, and personal endeavors. Finally, take care of our school. This college was founded on the philosophy of Reverend Boone. Let them come, let them all come, and we will see what they can do. Jim and Doug, on behalf of the staff, we congratulate you. We welcome you as our co-presidents. You have come. Let us see what we can help you do. Thank you.
Thanks, Zavala. And in my line of work, it's much better to be funny when announcing names than to be accurate. As you can see from my performance, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to MC an inauguration, but sometimes it does help to have someone who worked on the space shuttle program as the president of your board of trustees. Welcome our board president, Laura Turner, who will give Jim and Doug their countdown to success.
Thank you. Congratulations to both of you for being selected by the Board of Trustees to serve as our co-presidents of the College of Idaho. Our selection of you as co-presidents, while unusual, is a testament to the board's belief in the passion, knowledge, and vision you both bring to the college and the leadership team. We're confident you will do all in your power to ensure the College of Idaho's legacy for future generations, to promote academic excellence, to provide a transformational liberal arts experience for our students, and to foster relationships in our community. The College of Idaho Board of Trustees are pleased to share the milestone of your appointment with you both. We pledge our continued support, working together to provide the great College of Idaho experience for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. And now, it's an honor to introduce the Oppenheimer brothers, one of the greatest boy bands of the 1970s. Their famous hit single, No He's Skip, I'm Doug, still is a favorite at the jukebox at the Dutch Goose. There's your ride. Later, after quitting the music business, they both went on to work at Oppenheimer Companies Incorporated. What are the odds, ladies and gentlemen, that two guys named Oppenheimer would end up working at a company called Oppenheimer Company Incorporated? Apparently, you don't have to be named Oppenheimer to work there, but it doesn't hurt. Skip and Doug Oppenheimer's entrepreneurial and philanthropic influences are palpable in this valley, which is why for so many years the college was named Oppenheimer College of Idaho. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I'm a very busy tenured professor and I don't have a lot of time for research. Now, in the truest spirit of bureaucracy, I am here to introduce the two people who will introduce two other people. The only thing missing is someone to introduce me so that I can introduce them to introduce the people they're introducing. I'll let that weigh on you for just a second. Luckily, our next two speakers need no introduction. That was the punchline. Please welcome Doug and Skip Oppenheimer.
This on? Oh, this is good.
Is this working?
Yeah, that's working. How you been?
Good.
Well, it's just wonderful to be here, and we're honored to be asked to speak. Jim and Doug did tell us, not once, not twice, but lots. We want you to keep this very short and very simple.
Which coincidentally perfectly describes us.
Well, it's a real pleasure to be here at the College of Idaho's inauguration and to help introduce co-presidents, let me get this right, Jim Everett and Doug Brigham.
And I would just add, Doug and Jim, it is a true pleasure and an honor to be here to be part of this and sharing this great occasion.
You're listening to this, guys? Okay, sorry. Doug and Jim's presence has already been wonderfully felt, and we are very lucky to have them both leading the college. People say having co-presidents is very unusual. The first time, even to our knowledge, for a college to have co-presidents.
But we have been thinking about this, and we're really beginning to think that it's not that big a deal. There are examples of dynamic duos all over the place. It's really not that uncommon.
Actually, if you think about it, it's pretty old news. Throughout history, there have been a lot of co-partners, a lot of dynamic duos, a lot of 1-2 punches.
Witness,
Batman
and Robin.
Nicely done. Good job. Just the way we rehearsed it. This is good. Velvety smooth. Now, Batman and Robin are just one example. We have detailed data and specific illustrations that supports this cohesive, relevant, cogent, and critically important point. One that has been well documented by countless experts and amazing intellectuals.
And I think you're just trying to sound like you graduated from the College of Idaho.
I took hooked on phonics. That's as far as I got. Yep. Anyway, but to further illustrate our point, Skipper.
Han Solo and Chewbacca.
And the crowd goes wild. There's a lot of these guys. Hans, I get that. Lennon and McCartney.
SpongeBob and Patrick.
A lot of SpongeBob fans out there. Let's not forget Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
And Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Abbott and Costello.
Woody and Buzz Lightyear.
And last but not least, Bert and Ernie.
And the list could go on and on, but they only gave us 6 minutes. So we could have talked about Tweedledee and Tweedledum, Thing 1 and Thing 2, Thelma and Louise. We could have gone on and on.
The list goes on. It's really a shame, but I know. Short and simple. Well, from our vantage point, Jim and Doug are exactly what the College of Idaho needs. The perfect co-leadership at an exciting and wonderful time. Throughout, a lot of hot air coming from here. As most of you know, the College of Idaho is our state's oldest college and has been consistently named one of the top liberal art colleges throughout the nation. As recently as 2 weeks ago, the C of I was ranked #1 college in Idaho by the Wall Street Journal.
Woo! And I think we all recognize here, this kind of recognition doesn't just happen. It's thanks to the students, all the students here and all the students at the college, the incredible faculty, the staff, the administration, and the Board of Trustees for helping to keep the College of Idaho at the apex of education. Again, under Doug and Jim's leadership, we think, and I'm sure you all join in thinking, that the best is definitely yet to be. We have known Jim and Doug for many years.
Jim Everett is one of those unique individuals who can connect with everyone on a very close and personal level. Jim has had more of an impact on more people, and particularly young people, than anyone we know. He is the epitome of getting to yes. And he's just wonderful to be around. Whatever Jim takes on, he always succeeds. With one notable exception, he is lousy at retirement. Thank goodness.
Doug is another amazing individual. He didn't have to have this job. He wanted this job because he knew he could make a very real impact on a lot of people's lives. That's an enormous point of differentiation as it is with Jim. After graduating from the College of Idaho in 1987, building a very successful business, and serving as the chairman of the College of Idaho Board of Trustees, Doug selflessly thought that he might be able to make a difference by being co-president with Jim. It's this kind of thoughtful leadership, this kind of vision, this kind of commitment that will make a very real difference for the College of Idaho as we go forward into the future.
Doug and Jim do an amazing job of always asking the critically important question: what's best for our students? How can we make a difference? How can we help? It's this type of student-centered culture that makes the College of Idaho such a special place. Jim and Doug are truly unique leaders that listen to understand versus to listen to respond. You'll find them all over campus, whether it's in the classroom, in the cafeteria, walking around the college, always connecting with the students.
And it doesn't stop with the students. Jim and Doug's connection with the faculty, the staff, the administration is wonderful to witness. The emotional equity that these two people have in the College of Idaho and its mission is immeasurable and is always profoundly felt. Simply put, Doug and Jim are the perfect pair at the perfect time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Doug Brigham and Jim Everett. Good job, Robin. Nicely done.
Thanks, Doug and Skip. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that not only is this the first time there have been co-presidents, I'm going to guess this is the first time there has been Batman and Robin at a president's inauguration. So how about, we got a few students out here. We had some shout-outs for professors. How about a little rah-rah from the students? How about all the students? Hands up, let's go. Guys, that's why we're all here, is because of them. Before I get started, I want to just, I'm not going to recognize all of my family because that'll take too long, but I've got a lot of family here. And I want to recognize my parents, Don and Nancy Brigham up front. Just raise your hands. You want to talk about role models for co-leadership, 62 years of marriage and counting right there. Pretty special. Also have my father-in-law, Bob, who has been a great mentor to me and a leader in our lives as well. So thanks, Bob, for coming. And I won't embarrass the rest of my family, but thank you for being here and all my friends that are here. Those of you that are quickly wondering, is he going to recognize his wife? Stay tuned. So one of the fun things that Jim and I have gotten to do over the first couple of months here is sit down and listen to stories from students and faculty and alums. And it's great hearing how they've all connected to the college, what got them to the College of Idaho, and what kept them here, and how the College of Idaho impacted their life. And so if you'll give me just a couple minutes, it's caused me to reflect on my own life and what got me here, and I thought I'd share just a couple of things. And many of you may not know this, but I have won the lottery multiple times. Yet again. Unfortunately for the college, I haven't won the financial lottery, but I feel like I've won life's lottery a lot of times. First time with the College of Idaho was in the senior year of my high school time, 1983. And I went to a basketball game down at Boise State University. Some of you have heard this story. Boise State had just opened what was called the Pavilion, and it held, 10,000 plus people, something like that. And out of 10,000 seats in that arena, I get a ticket next to the guy sitting right there, Marty Hawley. For those of you that don't know, Marty is a longtime athletic director and basketball coach, and really the heart and soul in a lot of ways of this campus. 1 in 10,000 chance I sit next to Marty Hawley. I was going to go to University of Idaho like both my brothers had until I sat next to him. It was a long time to sit next to him, but after 20 minutes, as soon as he found out I was a high school student, I didn't have a chance. I was coming to the College of Idaho, and it changed my life. The next time that my life I won the lottery in life was my freshman year taking Western Civ. So in the spring of my freshman year, I had Dr. Howard Berger for Western Civ, one of the icons on this campus for a long time. About midway through the semester, Dr. Berger grabbed me and took me over to Berger Bench, for those of you that know where that's at. And he sat me down and in no uncertain terms said, "Doug, you need a broader view of the world than you have." Shocking, since I'd grown up in Meridian, Idaho, and had never been on a plane before. And he said, "If you'd be up for it, I'd love to give you some summer reading, and maybe we can chat about the books." So over the next several summers, my world went from Sports Illustrated to Dostoevsky and Melville and James and great authors. Another time changed my life. The third time was my junior year, and this time I didn't know I won life's lottery for a while. In fact, I thought I had lost life's lottery multiple times, and that was English literature from Dr. Louis Atterbury, yet another icon of this campus. I started turning in papers, and they would come back with so much red ink on them that I thought, this guy hates me. What have I done to him? I couldn't figure it out. I kept turning in papers. They kept coming back just blood red. And finally, by the end of the semester, I realized, he doesn't really hate me. He just knows I can't write very well. But he made me a better writer, and for that, I'll always thank him. The next time was my senior year. And sorry. This was supposed to be funny, Doug and Skip. Now you did this. So last time was my senior year. I took advanced financial management from Alan Moore. Alan's sitting over here. I love that class. 4 people in the class. So mom and dad, I was top 4. We got to the final exam. Alan will swear to this day this never happened, but I'm up on stage and he's not, so it happened. He went into the final exam, 4 students, and he said, "If anybody aces the final, I'll give you a job." Now, Alan was a senior executive at Morrison Knudsen, International Engineering Construction Company, and I didn't have a job. I was in the last semester of my senior year, studied my eyes out. Long story short, 2 weeks later, I have a job, and I'm working at Morrison Knudsen. Now, for those of you that are thinking I'm a brilliant financial student, I'm not. I didn't ace the final. I have no idea why Alan hired me, but changed my life. Alan became a lifelong friend, spent 20 years working at Morrison Knudsen, had a great career, learned a lot, and most importantly, Alan taught me the value of College of Idaho, giving back to the College of Idaho, and using that connection of the C of I network. So students, use that network. Look at all these alums around here. Go talk them up after this. They'll change your life too. So the next time, I got to rewind a little. I told you I'd get to Beth. The next time C of I changed my life was on the grass of Heyman Hall. Freshman move-in weekend. I got introduced to a young gal by the name of Beth Von Dock. Rough name, but I met her, and I immediately knew this was somebody I wanted to get to know better. And for those of you that know me, I like to move fast, and I knew I needed to move fast on her because there were probably a lot of other people that would like to get to know Beth Von Dock. So in my light speed, 3.5 years later, I asked her out finally. A few years after that, I asked her to marry her. Thank goodness she said yes. And it was the first time of a lot of times of saying yes to crazy ideas that I threw in front of Beth. Maybe the craziest was about 9 months ago. We had just finished selling the company that I was working at, Title I. We're having these great conversations. Let's work a little less. Let's move into retirement. Let's travel more, play golf, play tennis. And dear old Doug walks in and says, Beth, what would you think about if I started to work about 24/7? We had events every night, every weekend. And, you might get calls in the middle of the night that wake us up from some student that's done something maybe they shouldn't have. None of these students here would do that, but some might. And Beth thought about it, and she said, I think you and Jim could do this. You have passion about the college. You love the college. You work great together. I love the college. Let's do it. She said yes. The next time, and I promise there aren't too many more of these, but I don't get many chances. So the next time was I got to work at Morrison Knudsen about 3 years in. I got invited to be on the finance committee of the Treasure Valley YMCA. Went to my first meeting. This really young guy comes in. He's the CEO of the YMCA. I'm thinking, boy, this guy's got it going on, young guy. Comes walking in, and it's Jim Everett. And I got home that night, and I can remember the whole drive home thinking, I have never met anybody like this guy in my life. I have never been around anybody that's as passionate about what he does, is as passionate about kids and making their lives better than Jim Everett. I spent the next several years, next 27 years, being around Jim in a lot of different environments, served on a few more committees, and my feeling about him never once wavered. He never changed. I've watched this guy treat a single mom whose family's on scholarship at the Y the same way he treated a CEO that walked in there. I've watched him treat, a young person with special needs the exact same way he treated the star athlete. I've watched him take an audience like this, turn them to tears, talking about how a camp counselor helped out a young camper in need. This guy's special. And I'm so glad 9 months ago when I called up Jim on a Monday morning in October, and I said, Jim, I got a really crazy idea. You can shut me up at any time. What would you think about being co-presidents? He didn't need me. There's not a doubt in my mind the search committee would have selected Jim on his own. He would have been a great president. Jim put ego aside because he has no ego. And he thought about what's best for the students, what's best for the College of Idaho, and said, I'm in. I won the lottery that day. The last time, at least so far, that I've won the lottery, and I'm still buying tickets, so the last time was when we got to campus and we got this job. And we got to be around the students and the faculty, the staff, the coaches, the alums, the trustees. This place is special. We have a trustee at our last meeting, Mike Elliott, who said, this isn't special ground, this is hallowed ground. And there's not a doubt in my mind that that's true, and it's more true today than it was the day we started, and it'll be more true tomorrow than it was today. This place is special. Think about it. We have 964 students on this campus. Guess how many countries we represent amongst those? 70. 70 countries out of 964 students. This is the most diverse 55 acres in the state of Idaho, and we're proud of it, and it's not going to change. It's only going to get better. Think about our faculty. Our faculty could teach anywhere. They choose to teach here. Why? Because they can be around these great students. They can be in a small class setting. They can see their impact every day. That makes a difference. And I could go down the list. Our staff, our faculty, our coaches, they could all be anywhere. They choose to be here. We choose to be here because this place is special. Think about our community. Go Purple Fridays, right? It's a Go Purple Wednesday today, but Go Purple Fridays around Caldwell. Go check out a business. Everybody's in purple. The attendance at our football games, at our basketball games, we lead the entire country in our level for the NAIA in attendance. Why is that? Because this community supports the College of Idaho. Mayor Nancolis, right there, comes to every event. He's at more events than Jim and Doug, I think. We were here 3 weeks ago for the grand opening or for the ribbon cutting on the Smith's Welcoming Arches. Mayor Nancolis wouldn't leave until he shook every student's hand that was there. And there had to be 40 or 50 students. He would not leave. He didn't have to do that. He did it because he cares about the College of Idaho. With that, we accept all of your charges. We hope we deliver. We got a lot of hard work, but there's no group I'd rather do it with than this group. Thank you. Jim Everett, thank you for saying I'm in. Beth, thanks for saying I'm in. I love you guys. Thanks.
Wow, that's a tough one to follow. And Doug and I didn't necessarily compare notes too closely, but my theme is pretty similar. I think I'm the richest guy in Idaho. And don't look me up on a Forbes list. I won't show up there. But we get to define richness in our lives. And I have been blessed. And this is as good as it gets being here at this stage of my life. In those blessings, I got to start with my wife over here. October 13th, 45 years we will have been married. So that's my first lottery ticket. But I'll go back to 1960, a little history lesson. Do we have any of our history professors here? I would say I'm going to go back to when I was 8 years old, and I've had an extremely blessed life. But I lost my dad when I was 8 years old to cancer, and I struggled. Had it not been for education, I wouldn't be here. Mrs. Runciman, my fourth grade teacher, was one of a string of mentors that were always there when I needed them. So I had no idea what I wanted to do when I grew up. I went to a liberal arts college. I didn't know about the College of Idaho. I grew up in Michigan. At least our colors, I went to Albion College, purple and gold, yes. And it was a great, liberal arts, and I wish I was as thoughtful as I should have been, but I didn't really understand liberal arts until I got there, and really probably even after. But it gave me an exposure to all these different things, and every job I've ever had, I probably didn't have the experience for it on paper, but people have given me an opportunity to take that job. And because of liberal arts, you've learned a little bit about business, you know a little bit about history and a little about math and some of those topics. But all those things come together. That's what makes the world work. That's the world. I love, STEM's great, but it will never replace the need for a liberal arts education, to understand the arts, to understand literature, to know how to write, to know how to do some math, to be a scientist, to be curious for your whole life. That's what we teach, lifelong learners. So none of these jobs I've gotten, I wasn't qualified for, but somebody saw something in me. I have had mentors my entire life. My friend Marty Harley, as Doug pointed out, I retired, and I was, I knew I wasn't going to stay retired. Linda knew I wasn't going to stay retired, but I had no idea what I was going to do. And because I got to be a trustee and fell in love with this place, as Doug talked about, you can't be here for 5 minutes and meet our students and not be head over heels in love with the kind of students we have here and be optimistic about what's going to happen in the future. We don't ever, the news could be the worst news in the world, and we still know we're going to be okay because of you guys. You're amazing. But I had retired and was, everybody gives you advice, wait at least 6 months before you make any decisions. Well, I was about 4 months into it. My friend Marty Holly and Regan was right there with him. There was a swim coach opening here. And that's how I started my coaching, or my career as a swim coach. And Marty called, and Regan was there and said, what do you think about coming to the College of Idaho to coach swimming? The only job I ever really aspired to have was to be able to coach at the collegiate level. And I will tell you, I absolutely loved my 2 years as a coach. And it had about this much to do with swimming and this much to do with being around young, bright, energetic, hopeful young people. They help keep you young and they keep you optimistic, and I love that opportunity. And then, this opportunity came up, and I was pretty happy as a swim coach. And then you have people, it's about having a mentor and 2 good friends. And you have friends come to you and mentors come to you and say, you ought to consider this. And I kept saying, I'm really happy. And then, but you trust them and you believe in them and you believe in this place. And then Doug made that call. And I'm an impulsive guy. Doug talked about, took 3.5 years to ask his wife out on a date. We were married in 3.5 months. I'm a little bit on the impulsive side, and just in case we didn't have to get married, if anybody's out there thinking, okay, we'll do the math on it. 43, we will have been married 45 years, and our oldest son's 45, okay? Not complicated math, all right, got that? So, but we moved a little more quickly on that. And the same thing when Doug called me. I wanted to be real careful that I wasn't too impulsive. I said, let me sleep on it, but I didn't need to. Working with this guy is awesome. We're very different. Doug is the calm, thoughtful, bright, all those things. And I'm the guy that's I'm a little more like Marty, if you know Marty. And that's a little bit scary. So I should have probably a shock collar or something to keep track of me. And Doug's patient, and he sits there, and I absolutely love, I learn every day from this guy, and his heart is in the right place, and I'm an old guy. I'm 66. I'm so honored to be here. Doug could be out doing anything in this community. Anybody that knows Doug Brigham, he could have any job in this community or any other community, and he could be making a lot of money if he wanted to. He chose to be here. So to know that why he's here and work side by side with a guy here who loves this place. This is sacred ground. It's hallowed ground that we sit on. The faculty, I look out at some of you. You guys could have left lots of times. We've had tough times. You could have gone someplace that was more stable. You chose to be here. It's easy to get up in the morning every day and be excited about coming to work. It's also easy to put our head on the pillow at the end of the night. And we may not have done a lick of good, but this organization touched lives in the way I was touched by Mrs. Runciman, by Elkin Isaac, one of my mentors back at Albion College, by Bob Wickstrom, my swim coach. All those people, and they're still there. And these mentors that you have will still be there years from now. So we're honored to be here. We're absolutely thrilled. Doug is the best guy to work with in the world. I've gotten lots of help, and things only happen in teams. So it's great to work with Doug. So all the good things about Doug, I got to tell you, there are a couple things I've learned about Doug here. So Joe, where are you, Joe? Joe, can you? So one of the things, there's food back here. And you guys have got a little head start on Doug. But I would go immediately to the dessert table, because here we got a picture of Doug and the cafeteria at the dessert table just recently. So this is Doug. I didn't count how many were back there, but make a rush. Now, I did understand, from what I understand, he may have learned that from Dad right there. I understand, Caroline, there's a drawer that you can go to, and so Doug, that's a learned trade. So get to the dessert table. Then one of the things we had planned for this activity, you're going to hear some student, we wanted this to be about students, so you're going to hear some student talent here in a minute, hear and sing and some performing. There was where's Gibson? Gibson was pretty smart. He went separately to each one of us. He said, hey, we don't have a dance-off, so we went to Doug first. And Doug said, I don't know if that's a good idea, but when I saw Gibson, he said, oh, Doug's all in. Doug's excited about it. I said, really? Okay, well, I guess I got to be in. And I talked to Doug. No, I don't want to do this. So thankfully, Beth came up with an idea that maybe we'd have costumes. And because if you've seen our dance moves, we need something to distract from that. So we had thought about having an inaugural ball after this. However, if you were there and you saw the dancing and the costumes, that got nixed. So Doug, let's show this picture of Doug here. There's Doug in his yellow outfit. Now, Doug, I go back, I'm old enough to have had one of these leisure suits, but I got rid of it after they became so uncool. Doug somehow kept his, but so I had to go into the closet and look. I didn't have anything except for my wife's pantsuit. This is the pantsuit that she wore after our wedding 45 years ago. So this is what I had. After I got done dancing, somebody said, "What did you do with the rest of that couch?" So I'm giving this back to you, Linda. It'll stay in the closet. It's not for prime time anymore. So anyway, thank you. Thanks for our friends for being here. I see people out here that you mean so much to me. You've been mentors to me. Let's make sure we all mentor each other. We're there to support each other, and we, let's make these next few years meaningful and get the college to where it ought to be, to a place of stability. It's always been an amazing place of learning, and we just want to get the word out that this is the best place to get an education. You're going to meet the best people. Spread the word. Those of you that have kids or grandkids, get them over here to take a look. They can't go wrong going to the College of Idaho. Go Yotes. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Jim and Doug. That's what we're in for, folks. And now what you're in for is some student talent. Like Jim and Doug said, that's what it's all about. So as I'm introducing you, why don't we bring up the student groups right now? Could I get Major Sixth up here? Major Sixth. It's like a military term. Major Sixth is a 6-person a cappella vocal ensemble that sings repertoire ranging from 15th century madrigals to rockapella arrangements of contemporary popular music. It's one of the college's primary touring ensembles. Here with Underneath the Stars, Major Sixth.
Stars, I'll meet you. Underneath the stars, I'll greet you. And there
Major 6. Wow. That was fantastic. That wasn't even recorded. That was live, and they sound that good. Even that non-traditional student fella at the end there. Nice job, Junior. All right. Well, next up, if we could have the International Student Organization come on up. We got the ISO here. Come on up, ISO. Where are they? Where they go? Okay, ISO, the purpose of ISO is to have international students meet regularly with students' invited friends and guests to become the informational hub and support system for all international students on campus. ISO holds events such as the Cultural Show and Food Festival as vehicles to enhance the awareness of the variety of cultures on this college campus and to foster a sense of community between international students and other C of I students. Now here to perform the Bollywood dance, the ISO.
मुंडा थोड़ा ऑफ बीट है पर कुड़ियां दे नाल बहुत स्वीट है मुंडा थोड़ा ऑफ बीट है पर कुड़ियां दे नाल बहुत स्वीट है ढोंगी सा ये बड़ा ढीठ है वायरल हो गया ये ट्वीट पर फूल वूल करने में कूल तू बड़ी तेज कटारी है शगन तेरी की लगन तेरी की हमने कर दी तैयारी है नचते ने सारे रल मिल के आज हिले डुल के ले सारे के सारे नजारे नचते ने सारे रल मिल के आज हिले डुल के ले सारे के सारे नजारे खसमानो खाने
The ISO. As the chime sounds, representing some of those 70 countries we heard about. We're so pleased to have those wonderful students here. The international performance reminds us of what William Shakespeare said about all the world being a stage. Yeah, Alex, do you need to use the restroom? What? Well, I'm the theater guy. I should probably handle the. You want to do the theater part? All right. Alex Sproul Fendel, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this on? Wonderful. See, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They each have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then, the whiny schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail, unwillingly to school. Then, the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then, the soldier, full of strange oaths, and bearded like the part, or not. Then, the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon lined, his eyes severe, and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, their youthful hose well saved a world too wide for their shrunk shank, and their big manly voice turning once again to more childish trebles, pipes and whistles in their sound. The last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Alex Sproul Fendel. Thanks, Alex. We didn't need that departmental budget anyway. All right, next up, Lauren Waldron with a viola solo. Prelude in G minor from Suite No. 1 by Bach. Lauren Waldron is from Port Angeles, Washington, and has won the National Federation of Music Clubs Award, the Wendell Irish Viola Award, and the 2018 Nico Snell Young Artist Competition. She has performed with the Port Angeles Symphony under Jonathan Pasternak for 4 years. She's a freshman at C of I and is majoring in viola performance and is thinking about minoring in business, natural science, and history. Peak in action, ladies and gentlemen. Laura Waldron, Prelude in G minor from Suite 1. Lauren Waldron. Thank you, Lauren. And finally, to round things out, the Afro Dance Club. Afro stands for African Americans, Friends, Relatives, and Others. The mission of this club is to be a force to unite Africans, friends, relatives, and other members of the community through information exchange, through seminars, workshops, and activities that will provide a forum for understanding Black culture, history, and heritage. Keeping the arts in the liberal arts. Once again, the Afro Dance
A good evening to everyone. On behalf of the Afro Club, we would like to congratulate our beloved presidents upon this day.
And we would also like to take this moment to invite everybody to the Afro Culture Week that will be happening in the last week of October. So everybody's invited, and please join us. Thank you. Put this back for me.
Yeah, baby, you know we do. You, me, you tell your friends, I tell mine. It's that time again.
All right. Thank you, Afro Dance Club. And also thank you to everyone who attended. We still have some events going on. The museum is open inside until 6 p.m. We have tours of campus available, art exhibits in the foyer of Langroyce, Boone's second floor, student research project posters, all kinds of things happening on campus. So please stick around and celebrate with us. Thank you all for coming, and thank you, Deidre, and the event staff for putting everything together. Excellent work. Thank you, invited guests, the Oppenheimers, Board of Trustees, staff, students, faculty, Jim and Doug, thank you so much. You have your charges, and just know that we still have Bob Hoover on speed dial just in case. But I'm sure you're going to be great. Going to be great. Thank you all for coming. Celebrate College of Idaho. Go Yotes!